Have you ever found yourself wondering what it's like to know without a doubt where you need to go in life? As I'm sharing this with you, I want you to know that one of the biggest, compliments that I receive is that people seem to think I just know exactly what I want, where I need to go, and how to get there. But the truth is, I can sometimes come off as that, but behind the scenes, if you're my husband especially, you would know that there are countless of times where I really stop and think about where I want to go because I feel like I don't know. I want to share with you some thoughts that I have today based on how you can feel and experience absolute clarity in your life. One of the things that is very important as a coach, is that as you provide space for your clients, for them to gain clarity in their own life, you need to be able to impart that image of what clarity looks like. I've had many times in my life where I felt lost and I felt like I wasn't sure where I wanted to go. For many years, I have wondered about what my purpose is, what I needed to do, who I truly am, what God really wants me to do in terms of how I can live the most, make the most out of this life that He's given me. For years, I have wondered. And I can say now that in this moment in time, I have 100% absolute clarity as to who I am, who God made me to be, who I want to be, and the direction that I need to go. And yes, sometimes I would wake up and I would have these thoughts. Well, is it really meant for me? Is this really who I am? Sometimes, human nature will cause you to wonder and ask about these things and make you feel as though you have doubts. But I want you to know that once you have absolute clarity, absolute image of who you want to be, it doesn't mean that you will never wake up without any doubts in your life. In fact, doubts will still pop in your mind once in a while, but the difference is you actually now know how to kick that doubt off and tell yourself, no, hold on. That thought is not truth. That thought is not reality. Every morning after my morning routine, just before, as my way of transitioning to do my daily work, I write in my journal and I actually have there an identity statement. And that identity statement, I write it every single day. And I find that when I miss a day, or sometimes life happens, and for example, during the holidays, I was not able to fulfill my daily journals, I started having these thoughts of, who am I really? What direction should I go? Is this the direction that I need to go? I started having all these questions that I didn't have before. And I realized that it was because I didn't have that constant activity where I constantly reminded myself of who I am, of that clarity of where I wanted to go. Have you done something so well and then you come home wondering, well, what's the point, right? And I think if you're still wondering what's the point of all that you're doing, if you're a coach, if you're an entrepreneur, sometimes the journey of entrepreneurship, it's up and down and you hit a certain point or plateau or a dip where you wonder, what's the point of all of this anyway, right? I want you to pause and ask yourself, if, sometimes you might think, am I just doing this for the money? Am I just doing this for all these material things that might not be even important to you? So in that case, you might feel like, well, what's the point, right? The world's gonna be vanished at some point. I'm gonna die at some point. What's the point? So ask yourself, if you had all the money in the world, if you had all the time in the world, would you still be doing what you're doing now? Because if you answered no, that means you need to start looking into what your real purpose is. and to start acting and doing things that moves the needle forward in making your purpose a reality. Chances are you'll always feel as though you're doing something that's pointless. If it doesn't mean something for you, it's gonna feel like it's pointless. If you want to get rid of that voice that says, well, what's the point? Ask yourself, if I had everything, if I had all the money, all the time in the world, would I still be doing this? And I remember, as I'm making pivots in my business, one of the things that's showing up for me is, well, what's the point? The world's gonna end, I'm gonna die at some point, well, what's the point? Then I realized, I thought about this same procedure that I'm sharing with you. If I had all the money in the world, if I had all the time in the world, would I still be doing this? Heck yeah. This is how I know that I am in my purpose, that I am in my calling. And I want you to know that if you're doing something that you don't love, you're gonna get really good at doing something you hate. So the more time you spend at it, the more time we get better, right? So we might as well do something that actually means something to us. Okay, so going back to my talk about clarity, how do you know and how do you gain absolute clarity on who you are and where you need to go? This is critical, especially that it's January and we just started a new year, right? So how do you gain absolute clarity? Think about who is your God in your life and spend some time with your God, right? I think it's very important for you to really spend some time to something that you prioritize so much. Your number one, because your number one often will have the answers and will allow you to gain perspective and clarity on what you are looking for. And then number two, always have a daily activity where you're reminded of what it is that you stand for, who you are, where you want to go, what you need to do, and what you stand for. So I do this through my daily journals, through my manifesto, and I actually want to share with you that identity statement that I have. So this is the identity statement that I always write. I show up radiantly, excellently, enthusiastically in life because I have absolute clarity and confidence about who I am, what I stand for, and what my future holds. This level of clarity and confidence comes from my steadfast faith in God that I am chosen and that I am for Him. I am a role model to my generation, and I am raising leaders for the next generation. I receive provision to fulfill my calling, and it comes in great abundance. Abundance that comes in the form of supportive relationships, healthy relationships, a generous supply of finance, time, and health, and aligned opportunities. I trust God's timing in my life. The present moment is perfect as it is. So that is my identity statement that I always write, or maybe I should say that I type up. I find that oftentimes when we're looking for clarity, we're searching for answers outside of us. We're looking for maybe a coach to tell us and help us find that clarity, a friend to help us find that clarity, a video online to help us find that clarity, or a podcast to listen to help us find that clarity. But I find that ultimate and absolute clarity comes down by knowing deep inside you what the answer is. Because that clarity that you're looking for, it's really just a sign saying that, okay, you need to spend some time, some quiet time to reflect and to make up your mind. Clarity is just about making up your mind. So I leave you with that, and hopefully this video helps you, and I'll catch you again next week. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel. Bye.